Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm FuFuCuddilyPoof and this is level 268. Next week's going to be a good one. Joining me tonight is a rather unusual crew. First up, we have KooshMoose.
Never tell me the odds.
And we have our resident Wookiee, ChewieOnIce.
Hello, Pip Pip.
Oh, must be the special George Lucas extended edition. I don't remember that.
Yeah, hello, Governor. This is actually how I sound.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that's it. It's just going to be the three of us, a very unusual crew for this week. Scheduling issues and someone had to cancel, so either way, I'm glad you're here, Chewie. It's always fun to talk to you. It's so rarely get to since you're 5 hours ahead of us.
Yep, I am staying up until the small hours just for this, just for you guys.
How is the future?
It is dark and it is cold.
So nothing's changing. Good.
I got half of that right.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I am in deepest, darkest Scotland, after all. Mm-hmm.
You're going to confuse so many people by saying that. All right. So, once again, it's late for Chewie, so let's go ahead and just jump right into the show. Nate and I can possibly talk about food later on. So,
oh, yeah.
Our topic of discussion for this week is all about title updates. The question we posed to the patrons was, what non-baby game would you actually want a title update for? What achievements would it have, and how much gamer score? And then we also asked them, do this within reason. Don't just, press A once and unlock 10 grand gamer score. That would just be silly. So I'll go ahead and start reading off the first couple of patrons' responses. First comes with MDP, who obviously says Hogwarts Legacy would be his first choice. He's finished with the game and all of its achievements, so if there was a reason, wording, and all of its achievements, so there is no reason to keep playing. If they added extra content or even just miscellaneous achievements, I would gladly go back and play again. That wording was something. And then his second choice, I can't believe he didn't think of this first. I thought for sure this would be the first thing on his mind. He said Rocket League. I would go back and do any achievement they added. There's really nothing that would turn me off with extra achievements unless they were for attaining a certain rank, which would be out of my abilities.
He is so mad with you right now.
What if they had like a play but don't move for 100-hour achievement? Would you do that one?
Oh, I think he would.
I think
like
he
the
would.
Star Balls of Rocket League.
Yes.
Oh God, I forgot about that game. Yeah, Rocket League
in game time.
Rocket League is definitely like one of the obvious choices for everyone.
It would have to be in match time, so you couldn't just leave it on one game. You have to play it over the course of like 3-minute matches or something. That would be infuriating.
I mean, Rocket League is infuriating, so...
Yes.
Ooh. Do you not like Rocket League?
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's not my thing. It's fine for what it is. I'm just ragging on MDP because, this is his stock answer, and it was his first choice. I'm not going to let this stand. It was.
Revisionist history.
I can edit that out. He'll never know.
But we know you won't. Hogwarts Legacy, though, was the better answer, I think. Mm-hmm. But because I totally agree.
Did they ever commit to doing DLC for that? Or is just everyone willing it into existence?
They were going to release a completely separate game that's just Quidditch. I don't think they're related at all. Like, they're not associated. But we consider that DLC. Mm-hmm. So that thing's happening at some point, I'm sure.
I feel like they said that they were going to do DLC to explore somebody's backstory.
I'm down for that. I don't care who it is. Like, I'll do it. If it's just, the caretaker, I'll do it.
I don't know. I haven't played the game, so I don't exactly know. But I feel like I heard something about exploring someone's backstory, there being some sort of DLC. I can't imagine that they won't do it. I'm actually surprised that there hasn't been DLC yet, as big as that game was.
Yeah, it's starting to get to the point where, as popular as it was, it's now in the past, right? And there are so many newer, bigger things coming. The shininess is wearing off.
2023 is a tough year. It's a tough
really
year
is.
for people to remember what games came out. There's just so much, and so much good stuff too.
I'm glad I'm not Jeff Keighley's team and have to actually, do an end of the year awards ceremony for this, because it's going to be rough this year picking game of the year.
I mean, how
So
many people are
many
going to charge the stage this year? I don't know. It's just going to be, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't. I mean, another shout out for my favorite rabbi. All right. So next response is coming from Ahizo, who says, to nobody's surprise, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'd go full 1K gamer score, finish ME3 with all 3 endings, each originated in Mass Effect with no classes shared between the 3 in any game. Jeez, man. 6,000 gamers.
So he's saying you'd have to play through the entirety of 1, 2, and 3 as a different class.
Yes.
Beginning to end. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
There are achievements, man. 600 gamer score, 400 gamer score for finishing ME3 with a character who has completed every mission in all 3 games. That's
it's a big ask.
Wow. That's now there are achievements.
I could see that being controversial if they landed that in the game so long after it's been released.
Especially after different class for all 3. That'd be rough.
No one would change the rules after something's been released, though. That's insanity.
Fug responds with, I don't know what it would be worth, but I would have loved to have more to do in Hogwarts Legacy. Cleanup got a bit grindy, but the core of the game was great. I probably should have switched those 2. Yeah, more people like Hogwarts Legacy, more to do, and that's cool. And then final response I'm going to read is from Freemhole. I finished Monster Train forever ago and would love new achievements, especially with the new decks they've released. If it's a deck building roguelite, I'm on board. This would also apply to Loop Hero, Ring of Pain, and Signs of the Sojourner. I'm surprised he didn't say Slay the Spire on there as well. As for me, I actually had a rough time thinking of one. Like when I actually started thinking about this game and which ones I would like to see, a couple of different ones come to mind. Like I would love more Halo. I would love more Elder Scrolls. But I think the one I actually would like if I had the power, I want more achievements in Spyro the Reignited trilogy. I adore those games. If you listen to this podcast at any length, you know that I do. I have that game completed. I would love new achievements that added challenges to the game. Nothing insane, nothing too crazy. Just something that would be a challenge I would have to work for, but I could do. I would like speed runs in each one, but like within reason. Maybe like a 5-hour speed run of each of the games, get 100% in 5 hours or so. Beat each boss without getting hit, or I don't know, just something like that. Just give me a reason to play those games again. I love playing those games every so often when my family comes over. We play it together just for fun. So if I could get back into those games and have more achievements, I'd be happy. And with that, I'll kick it over to Nate.
Alrighty. Wheezy Fuzz says, I would like to see a title update for either Clicker Heroes or Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realm, and how dare you bring that evil into the world.
No, bring that evil into the world.
Don't you put that evil on me. I've done those games. I don't want to have to figure out where I was, what's the progression, set up my, Cronus or any of that stuff anymore. Those ones.
Get to Area 6000. Let's go.
No single clicker should ever receive a title update to force us to go back in and learn mechanics. That's crazy. Who would do that?
Love your clicker hero's answer.
That's where I stand on that. Vulgar Latin says, DayZ. I think the collected anger could be used to power a small village, but my true answer is Shredder's Revenge. Why that DLC didn't get achievements, I'll never know.
Amen.
1,000%.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Big time. My kids are obsessed with that game, and when I told them that they had new characters, they were so overjoyed. And when I found out there was no achievements for those characters, I was underjoyed.
Yeah.
When you told them there were no achievements, did they have any reaction?
They had no clue what I was talking about.
Sorry, Daddy.
They remain pure in that regard.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
That game is fantastic. It's so good. I miss having that group of 6 that we played it with.
Yeah, I foolishly bought the DLC because I was like, it must have achievements. Dumb. Should have done a little bit of research, but did not.
Can't believe it didn't.
Maybe they'll add them later. I don't know. Who knows? Probably not.
Right after it leaves Game Pass, they might.
Exactly. Well, I own it now, so like, I did
Honestly,
that for you guys.
I might buy it if they did that.
I also own it because I figured it was a game for the
dad.
It was a game for the ages, right? Yeah.
You're a good dad. That's why. Chesno says, I want a title update for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition. A fun fighting game that ended too soon. I also wanted to see if the host can say the name of the game in one take without messing it up. Haha, Chesno, you got me. So there's like a 20% chance I'll get it right.
Isn't it Blaze Blue, though?
I thought it was, what did I say?
Blaz Blue? Did you say Blaz Blue or Blaze Blue?
I said Blaze Blue. I don't
okay.
read
said Blaze.
Okay.
I'm not Ron Burgundy.
I don't know. I would have said Blaz Blue, so great job.
We'll roll it back. We'll figure it out. We'll watch that tape.
Everybody hit the back 15 seconds and then see if he said it right.
And then let me know if I
yell
got
at
it right or not. Yeah, exactly. Please yell at me. I don't get that enough in life. Hawkeye Barry says, he says Titanfall 2 would be my choice. And he's right. Let's just end right there. We don't need to say anything else.
Good answer.
One of the best games from the X-Bone era. I can't believe I'm saying this, but give me some MP achievements. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Don't go first Titanfall crazy, but something that takes 5 to 10 hours. I read that with the wrong inflection. Don't go first Titanfall crazy, but something that takes 5 to 10 hours. Achievement hunters probably don't know the multiplayer is fun because everything needed can be done in one game if lucky.
So good.
I think there were 2 achievements in the second one, right? It was like play a game and use your, slide move. I don't know. It was something stupid.
I think it was get to like level 5 or something like that.
5? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It was really easy.
Something real easy. It
didn't promote Frontier Defense, and that's all it needed to do. Just put Frontier Defense achievements in there and done. That'd be so good. I know what my answer is later. We'll circle back.
Shoot, go for more Titanfall achievements. I wouldn't be mad.
The title update would also need something that requires players to go back and play that fantastic campaign again. How about a co-op playthrough?
Wait, hold on.
Interesting.
That game has co-op?
No, that's what he's saying. That's what he would want in a title update.
I see.
Exactly.
Yes. Actual content.
Because what's more fun than doing that timed challenge in co-op and having to rely on another human to perform well? That sounds great. I'd love to watch some video on that and not actually have to do it. I agree. Titanfall 2 would be great. I just didn't say that because I always say Titanfall Frontier Defense. That's like one of my that is my Rocket League. So to not say those answers, I'm going to say I like the Hogwarts answer. I don't know what it would be, but I would like to see more Hogwarts. That map was big, and I imagine there were other areas that they could expand to. They could do more with the goblins. They could do all sorts of stuff. I also think Star Wars not Force Unleashed. What was the new one? Why can't I remember?
Survivor.
Survivor. Thank you. Jedi Survivor. So gosh darn good. If you're a Star Wars fan and you don't care about quality, you are eating well this year. And in these days, they could bring in some Ahsoka stuff because time frames, right? They could bring in some Mando tie-ins. Cool. They could do a lot and it'd be super cool. I mean, they could even do some. What was the Andor? They could do some Andor tie-ins. That game is so good. I know a trilogy is in the works. I know the third game is coming, and it's going to be amazing. I'm so into it. Chewie, I envy you for not having played this yet. I wish I could just bang my head and forget everything and play it again. It's that good. And then finally, the other title update that's just more of a joke than anything else is because Starfield's too soon to have a title update, I want to go into Hard Space Shipbreaker and take apart some ships from Starfield. I have been playing.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've been playing Hard Space Shipbreaker, and I'm just having so much fun tearing things apart. and accidentally setting off chain reactions in in these radioactive engines, and then just dying. It is such a fun way to sit there and stare at the screen. I start to take apart these huge ships, and it's like an hour later. I don't know where the time has gone, and I really need to go to bed. That's how much fun this game is, and I would love for there to be some sort of themed thing, kind of like Power Wash has. I think that there's room for that in Hard Space Shipbreaker. You could just get like a famous, you just get like a famous ship's title update. Do some of that Star Trek stuff. Do some of the, Ahsoka tie-in. Take apart Ahsoka's new ship. That stuff would be super fun.
I think he likes Ahsoka.
I've gone on too long. That's my answer. Chewie, what about you?
So, Northern Lass, carrying on the space Star Wars-y theme, would love to see DLC for the most recent Lego Star Wars game, the Skywalker Saga. And she would like that to be extending to some of the spin-off series. So, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Andor, any of those are ripe for Lego treatment. And it does feel like a kind of a missed opportunity there, because I think that would be fun. I think so. The most recent Star Wars game before that, Force Awakens, had levels based around the various different kind of additional media or kind of spin-offs and things like that. And I think I'm surprised we haven't seen any of that for this new one.
Mm-hmm. Crazy there's not a Lego Mandalorian yet.
Mm-hmm.
Or any Mandalorian.
A Mandalorian game, full stop. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, give me. Please, give me.
Yeah. El Sock, one of our most recent patrons, said he needs more achievements in... This is really up to date. This is a brand new game. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. He has beaten it repeatedly and always ends up playing it again eventually. So having more achievements to pop would be rad. I think you might be alone in that one. I don't play new games, but adding title updates to Xbox Live Arcade games would be a stretch, I feel.
I feel like someone's missing from the Vayners channel. El Sock, you need to go check out the channel. You'd be at home there. You'd have more support.
Red Stack proclaimed to anyone who would listen, "No Man's Sky!" ! They've done so much content updating since they first released, and there's so many possibilities for achievements based on all the things they've added to the game, and I'd love an excuse to pop back in and take on the world some more. A full 1,000 would be awesome, but even a couple of 100 would be fun. And I have not played No Man's Sky, but knowing just how much they have done to that game since it launched and how much change they've added and continue to add, I am shocked, I say, that there has been not even one title update added to that game.
That's very surprising.
The achievement list is just reflective of what came to the Xbox, which was not the original launch game, way back when, that was so heavily derided. The Xbox did get an improved version, but they continue to add more and more and more, and it is just a base 1,000, and that is all.
And they're not taking it out of Game Pass. It's been in there forever.
Yeah. It is
real early days.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity, definitely.
I'd do something mean like visit 100,000 planets or something like that. Just something real mean, and then make it like worth like 3 gamer score.
You are a mean guy. That is not nice. X.
Just watch the achievement Twitter go nuts.
Yeah. I feel like they have worked so hard to get back goodwill for that game over the years, and finally got to a place where people respect it for something. And I think a decision like that would undo all of that good work.
Fair point.
X the Hero also proclaims Soul Calibur 6, easily my favorite fighting game of the past decade, and they added 2 season passes worth of characters with no new achievements. I would love to see some character-specific achievements in a title update, both for the OG cast and the DLC characters, since the base game didn't have any. maybe some stage-specific achievements, Creator Soul achievements. So many options, but nothing ever materialized on that front. Sad face. I have not played a Soul Calibur game. Not one. So I cannot comment.
They're good.
But I do get that with the seasons that they do and new characters and things, it only makes sense to add achievements. And the Injustice and Mortal Kombat games have been good at that, apart from the most recent Mortal Kombat game, which didn't have any, I think. Which seemed weird, right? As well, Mortal Kombat 11 did not have any achievements tied to its DLC characters, which the previous ones had. And I don't know what the plan is for the new Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 1. But yeah, it seems weird that they would not, again, when they keep adding new content. Like, we complain about title updates when there is no content. But with all these games that are adding content, it just seems like a no-brainer to add achievements, add a title update to go alongside those to get more people back into the game to do that. Yeah.
I mean, I guess unlike those other games that are adding, content to get achievement hunters to buy, like, these guys have good games and they're adding content, but they don't need the achievement. So why bother coding that in? And,
yeah, we aren't the target audience for the content.
Yeah. Nah,
but
it's still be nice.
Give us 200, just 200. Come on, man.
Give me some. I need it.
Yeah, I feel like Chappelle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Y'all got any more of that gamer score?
My answer. Now, I struggle with this because I don't really play current games much at all, or big games. So when I come to a game, usually it's, long past the window that new content would be coming. So it feels weird to say I would be providing similar answers to Mr. Elsock. I want a title update for this 10-year-old game, please. The one I was thinking, I really enjoyed that game, that Untitled Goose game that was really popular. And, I would quite like an update to that, maybe another level or some additional challenges or something like that. And then I realized Untitled Goose game is 4 years old.
Is it?
That's not possible. It's not possible.
Yes. It's crazy. It's been so, that seemed like a recent game to me that I was thinking, I could add a title update to that. But I don't think anyone would be happy with that choice. It's been 4 years now. So
but the gameplay's so charming, Chewie. Like that, I think they'd make an exception for that game, right?
Yeah, and I think it would fit. I think, like I say, they could add some more areas, or they could add some additional checklists or things. Or I just want a sequel. It's been 4 years, guys. Come on, give us more Goose. And
they haven't done anything since then.
They have not done anything since then. And then my other answer, which is probably an obvious one for me, is that I feel like Project Winter is actually long overdue some additional content.
There it is.
What have we done here, Fufu? What? We set ourselves up.
I didn't even think of that.
I mean, and I'm not even joking, because I feel like it's due a resurrection. It's been a long time. I feel like we could get some streaming going for whatever they do, and I don't even really mind what it is. They added a blackout mode, which was like a variant on the gameplay, and there's so many opportunities there that they could build on to do that more. So I'm not even joking. I want more Project Winter in my life.
Is it just a Euro thing? I mean, is this game just appeal to you guys?
The whole game is about griefing. It's Among Us, but better, but not crap.
You're getting Fufu on your side now. I don't like this.
No, okay. So I just never actually played it. I've watched a little bit of it. I'm totally into these types of games. I would love to play it. I just never did.
Yeah. Social deception, it's perfect.
I love Among Us. I still do. I think it's so much fun.
Yeah, so the thing with Among Us is it's this whole kind of drop in, drop out, bite size gameplay loop, whereas Project Winter requires a little bit more focus and time, which
that sounds great to me.
Yeah, but if you die early, and you're out, then you have to sit for half an hour or longer waiting. So,
I mean, that's if you're boosting the game or if you're playing legit.
That's if you're playing legit. You know, you become a ghost, you're dead. You can do things as a ghost and you can watch, but it's kind of boring. I think that's where it maybe falls apart a bit for some people.
I mean, to be fair, and I think everyone knows, we just hate on it just because it's funny, not because we know anything about the game.
Yeah.
But no informed opinions here. Interesting.
Although we do, I'm pretty sure we have a whole bunch of your game sessions on our YouTube page. Of
Possibly?
all the Euros playing project went up.
Yeah, there was a few streams which feature Dino Bull screaming prominently.
Didn't know he was a Euro.
He's an honorary Euro.
There you go.
All right. Well, if you guys don't have any other games that you want to shout out real quick, why don't we get into the game showcase? Chewie, because it's getting late for you, in case you have to drop out early, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Yes, so I, as has been mentioned a few times, am running in the Discord an adventure game-based contest throughout the year. I know, Foof, you're a big fan of adventure, point and clicks in particular.
Especially.
Very much so. Well, can't get enough.
They are my favorite genre, and I wanted to make a push this year just to basically smash through a bit of the backlog, but also make a bit of gains on the old leaderboards, kind of in the spirit of the Vayner, Year of the Vayner, but my preferred genre. And this month I have been playing a game called Spirit of the North, and it's the enhanced edition. Don't ask me what's enhanced about it. I have no idea. There's nothing in the game or on the game's listing that tells you what's enhanced about it. But it's Spirit of the North.
But if they say it's enhanced, it must be true.
It is enhanced. I mean, it looks very pretty. It's a very nice. It
does look pretty.
Visually, it's a Nate game, definitely. I don't know if.
Ooh, I like Nate games.
Yeah, I don't know if the gameplay loop appeals to you as much, but it's this. Basically, you play as a fox, and the entire game is a very, very chill exploration puzzle game, I would say. You run around kind of a Nordic landscape, very pretty, rolling hills. It's kind of, there's some kind of ancient civilization that is long gone, so there's lots of kind of ruins to explore. But also there's a corruption in the world, and it's not a strong narrative, and there's not a really kind of strong story. You're not really sure exactly what's going on entirely, but your fox character encounters this kind of spirit fox at the very beginning of the game, and your souls merge, and it allows you to take on these spirit abilities in order to clear the corruption, basically, that you find dotted around the world. And you do that by, and bear with me a sec, it's kind of weird, but you bark at flowers, which allows you to charge your spirit ability. It's weird. I'm not sure what it means. I'm sure it has some kind of folklore symbolism or something like that. I don't know, but you run around the maps, you notice blue flowers growing, and when you walk up to those blue flowers and bark at them, it charges a spirit ability, and that spirit ability allows you to interact with various different monuments and elements of the world, and also as you progress through the game, you unlock kind of spirit abilities, and you can use your spirit charge to use those abilities. Like, you can have an out-of-body experience where you control the spirit version of the fox character, which allows you to walk on water or pass through areas that your corporeal body would not allow you to get through. And you can do things like spirit dashing or spirit jumping, which allows you to do further and faster jumps than you would as a fox. But basically, it's just super chill and relaxing. It's got really nice music, really pretty visuals. So if you're in the mood for a kind of a chill exploration adventure puzzle game, I do recommend it. It is decent. It's a decent little package. I was trying to think of other games that are similar, and there's that one where you play as a boy exploring islands, and you have a little companion animal.
Oh, Zelda. Is it Zelda?
It is not
Wind Waker?
Zelda.
Is it Wind Waker? It's not. Oh,
No,
okay.
no. It was one that you talked about on the podcast years ago. I'm just struggling to remember the name of it.
I'm thinking Mara, but it's not Mara. It's
people are shouting at us. There's a few of these games now on the Xbox, kind of similar vibes, where the focus is more on relaxing, chill visuals, exploration, and some light puzzling, platforming. And if you're into those kind of things, this sits perfectly alongside it. It's very completable. There's nothing too much to worry about. The only thing is it does have collectibles, quite a few of them. The collectibles are in two parts as well. You have to locate a staff, which is sometimes on the main path, but sometimes it's hidden away. And you have to then carry that staff to the dead body of a shaman, and the shaman's dead body also may be on the main path, but it also may be hidden away in a tower or something like that. And once you bring the staff to the dead body, you kind of release the shaman's spirit, and that counts as a collectible. And there's I think there's about 30 of them throughout the game. Because they're off the beaten path, though, you probably do need a guide. I'm following a guide to get through them in my main playthrough, but there is chapter select, so nothing is missable, right? You could do a blind playthrough and then you could go back to mop up any of the
That's nice.
collectibles. Yeah, it's just a nice game.
I will say,
Alba, A Wildlife Adventure, I think is the most recent one that I described that you were thinking of.
A wildlife adventure.
Yeah, Alba.
Oh, Alba, yes. Yeah. I'm familiar with that one. Similar kind of thing. Similar vibes. Yeah.
Now, when you were first describing this, you inhabit the spirit, or your spirit inhabits this wolf. You're basically describing the intro to Seasons After Fall as well. And like you get spirit powers, which also happens in Seasons After Fall. And I think you bark at things, which also happens in Seasons After Fall. But it's a puzzle platformer, so not quite your adventure genre. But,
no, but there is platforming. It is very light, and there's no punishment really for anything. So I wouldn't class it as a platformer, but it does sound kind of similar to that. In fact, I can rattle off about 10 different games where you are an animal and you get spirit powers and you jump around exploring things. And
one last question. Which will totally influence my decision or whether or not to play it, which I already own. So obviously we'll play it at some point.
You're totally going to play this.
Is a fox closer to a dog or a cat, in your opinion? Not this game, but just in life. Are foxes, do they fall more into the dog category or the cat category? This answer is important.
Now, before I played this game, I would have said in some ways they're more cat-like. And the reason I would say that is because... I live in an area where we have urban foxes, which are kind of like, I guess, the equivalent of your raccoons, in that they go around the streets causing mischief. And have you ever heard a fox at night, like an angry fox or a pained fox?
Oh yeah, they squeal.
They wail. They wail. They do not sound anywhere approaching a dog. They sound much closer to a cat fighting, or just some kind of creature, monster, in extraordinarily pain. It's a horrible sound. I would say they're more similar to cats in that way, and this kind of roaming around independently at night is much more kind of cat-like, I would say. But in this game, you bark at flowers, so you know.
You lost me there, but you brought me back with the barking at the flowers. I'm in. I'm doing it.
This is a Nate game.
I will play it.
I'll say this game is, like you said before, very pretty. And I look at these games, and whenever Nate brings up some of these anyway, as long as it's not like a point and click, I look and I go, man, I wish I like these games. Because there is something appealing to it when I watch the clips and hear you or him talk about it. It's like, these look enjoyable, but like when I start playing, it's just kind of not necessarily just my thing.
Yeah, the gameplay isn't compelling and urgent, or you know, it you don't get any endorphin rushes playing these games.
It does not look exciting.
And I mean, have I fallen asleep playing it? Yes, I have. But that's fine with me because I'm looking for that relaxing kind of thing, that vibe. It's what I need in my life right now, so it's good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, on TA, it's 3.79 rating, so those who like it.
It is also at a price point that I would say maybe would put people off. It's $25, £20, which is reasonable. You know, it's a 6 to 8 hour game, so it's not super short. But I would say maybe wait for a sale if you can, just to make it, you know, justify the cost.
Right. And not a whole lot of completions, considering how many people started it. Not that there's a lot, only about 16% of people have completed it. It doesn't look super difficult.
It
like
isn't.
There's chapter select.
It isn't. I think it's the collectibles that bring that down because
all 28.
Yeah, you have to follow a guide. You wouldn't get them all without.
It's also got a high rating and a high number of people voting. 40 votes, I feel, is a high number, and it's got a 3.79.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is worth it. Do it. Make it happen.
I might have to play one of these games I own one of these days.
Pretty good.
I have played so many games that Nate you have recommended just based on you telling me that they're pretty and nice. So I feel like you owe me one.
Okay, Chewie, I'll do it. You got it. I'm installing it now. Well, not now. We're recording. That breaks old cardinal rule.
Yeah. So that is Spirit of the North. And importantly, it is the enhanced edition.
Is there a regular edition now?
There is only one edition, but it's enhanced.
Have you liked the games I've said are pretty?
Oh, almost universally, yes.
Okay. Well, then you get it. You get it, sir. I will play it.
Man, I feel like I shouldn't be on this show, and it should be like Corey, and the three of you just geek out on all these games. Oh, maybe that's
future show idea. Future show idea.
Oh, we gotta keep that in the tank. The three of you talking about games like this, or something like Critters, or something.
I feel like in the same way that the games can put people to sleep, I feel like our talk about the games could put people to sleep.
No. I would enjoy listening to you three.
Be like sweaty balls. Like, yes, that was a really good game. Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Pretty colors.
Furries, animals, critters.
Well, speaking of a game with pretty colors and very Nate, Koosh, what game do you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I guess I'll talk about a game that I like. This game is called Gris. It came out on Game Pass not too long after I bought it, because that's how things work, people. I buy things and then you get them for free.
Such a nice guy.
This was an indie darling. When it first came out on platforms that weren't Xbox, everybody was talking about it. Kind of like they were talking about the strawberry game. Getting old. Don't get old, people.
Strawberry vinegar.
No, the good strawberry game. where you're climbing a mountain and you're jumping and you can turn on flying. And people are screaming. So at us now, or at me, I should say. Celeste, thank you. Thank you, Brain.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you,
Celeste.
Brain.
Celeste is the answer.
There we go. Thank you, Chewie. Thank you for
Very helpful.
mouthing that, and I picked it up through brainwaves and stuff. So Gris is very pretty, and I feel like it got kind of the acclaim that games like Celeste did. But then when I went to play it, I didn't think it was tremendously special. I do think it's pretty. I do think that I am not a smart man and I don't pick up on cues. It apparently is about the stages of grief. So it's going through denial and anger and all these things. I didn't really pick that up. So I feel like artistically, I just didn't get the clues they were giving me for these things. But if you go ahead and you read what people are talking about, you'll kind of like say, okay, yeah, I can sort of see this color palette makes sense. And some of the achievements are denial, acceptance, and anger, depression, bargaining. So had I read the achievement titles, which I don't normally do, I think that would have been a pretty good clue. That's what they were shooting for. But I did not pick that up from the gameplay. Speaking of the gameplay, this is a platformer. And you, for the most part, are moving through the levels. There's no text to read. There's no lines spoken. You're pretty much moving left to right. And sometimes the levels have verticality that you're going through. You start off with a very minimal skill set. You can walk very slowly. I'm not selling this very well. You can also jump, but very quickly you get through that part where you're not moving very quickly. And you can move at a normal speed. You'll eventually pick up a double jump, but it's not a Vayner. You'll also get some other skills that allow you to move around a little better. You'll get the ability to swim. You'll get the ability to float as you're falling, like a slow fall. And it's just a very pretty game. And yeah, it's kind of relaxing. There's no time gated things like, you have to complete this thing in 2 minutes or you have to redo the level. There's none of that. There's no combat. So you're mostly just exploring and looking for little collectibles that are basically like little glowy circles or bigger circles with like a nucleus, and they also glow. The little circles are required. They're like little balls of light. They're required to progress through levels. Sometimes you'll find like a little area that has like a couple slots that you can tell, okay, a little light is going to go there. And as you progress through the level and you touch those little lights, they'll kind of follow you like fireflies. And when you get back to that little door, they'll go into their spots. And then if you have enough, the door will open, so on and so forth. As you're going through the levels, you'll sometimes see on the wall a little figure or a little carving, and it'll have indications for those other types of collectibles, the ones that look like a little molecule. And if you found them, they're lit up. If you haven't found them, they're dark. So that is your indication for collectibles that you've gotten and the fact that maybe you've missed some. There are good walkthroughs that will tell you in the order that they appear in those pictures. They number them that way, and they tell you exactly where to find them. When you complete the game, there's chapter select. Before you get to the ending, there is no chapter select. So you should move through, finish the game, then go back and do cleanup. And the walkthrough on Steam is really good. It will tell you where to get those collectibles. It'll tell you where checkpoints are. So when you go to pick a level, I think at the most they have 3 checkpoints. So you can pick from those 3 checkpoints. And the walkthrough will actually tell you, okay, this one comes between the first checkpoint and the second checkpoint. There are these 3. After the second checkpoint, you get 4 and 5. And so if you're only missing 4, boom, go straight to checkpoint 2 on level 3, get your thing, you're done. And that's the way I would recommend playing this game. Because watching or playing a platformer by watching a video is a horrible experience, and no one should do that unless, of course, you want to. I'm not here to yuck your yum. But for me, not great. So I chose to play it through, do all the exploration. I feel like they could have done a better job of signposting. Sometimes I felt, as I was playing the game, that I was moving in the wrong direction. I just had no indication. I could go left here. I could go right here. Which is the correct way and which is the way that goes to a hidden collectible, I don't know. but I'm just going to go ahead and explore it. And when you do, you're eventually going to have to go everywhere anyway. So if you're playing this game to play it, that's the way I would do it. And don't worry, you're going to be able to go back, level select, and get all your collectibles after. There are a couple achievements for doing things at specific statues. No spoilers because there's no story really. So like one statue you'll sing, another statue you just stand there and you'll get it. And then you'll also be singing to some birds in one particular level to get an achievement. And then there are, of course, the collectible achievements, getting all of those mementos. Those are the little molecule looking ones. And then there's a final achievement that can only be gotten after you've collected all those mementos. And it's on the final level. It's very easy to get from that first checkpoint. So there's not, the backtracking could be a little painful if you didn't do a good job of finding those mementos on your first playthrough. But all in all, TA says it's a 6 to 8 hour experience. I took 8 hours and 17 minutes. And that was with a natural playthrough of doing an okay job of finding the mementos with additional cleanup. And yeah, I thought it was fun. If you're going to play this before it leaves Game Pass, the estimate is about right. So that'll help you determine if that's for you or not. And yeah, that's Gris.
Are the achievements broken at all? Do they all work as expected?
Yeah, they all popped when they should have.
It's weird because the finish the game achievement has been unlocked more times than completing individual stages. And those stages are all over the place. So the first stage has been unlocked more than the fifth stage, but the fifth stage has been unlocked more than the second stage. It just seems weird. The order, the volume of unlocks doesn't match the story progression.
That is interesting. My experience was, everything popped when it should have. I didn't have any issues.
Interesting. Can
That's
you pick?
I didn't
Can you
notice
pick?
that.
Do you play it linearly, or can you pick random stages to start?
Well, you have to play through from beginning to end, but once you've completed the game one time, and once again, there's no skill check here. It's just, can I make? Okay, I lied. There's like 3 or 4 jumps that I maybe had a little bit of a problem with just doing because like they flipped gravity and you had to time your float move properly. But other than those like 4 instances of jumping, there's no skill checks on this game.
Okay.
It's not very difficult. But so once you finish the story, you're free to go and do chapter select.
And the current 6% completion percentage and 2.8 ratio, that's purely Game Pass inflation, right? That's
it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be. It's pretty easy to get your first achievement.
Okay.
You know what I always do when a game is left to right and I first start it? My first instinct,
go left.
I will always go left. Yes. And I will always just look there for a collectible. It's there in Inside. It's there in, I think it's there in Inside. It's there in Limbo. Many of these games go left initially. This game, it's just like that. There's something to the left. Spoiler.
As there should be.
As there should be. That's how you know, if there was a waterfall, I would expect something to be behind it. There is no waterfall, but they did right by the go left rule. I've forgotten your question, but
easy achievements. It's easy to unlock that first achievement.
Exactly. Yeah, and you see 137 votes. It's got a 4.23.
That is a high rating.
Yeah.
Very
pretty high rating. Is it deserved of all that praise that was given to Gris when it first came out? I don't think so. I think it was a little overhyped. But if you go in there thinking, oh, this was overhyped, you're going to have a good time. So I'm here to let you down gently.
Considering the hype, I'm surprised that this only has 8,000 starters. I would have expected more, especially when it's also an easier completion and in a 6 to 8 hour. I would have expected more people in TA to jump on this.
I think it's only been on Game Pass for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. When did I?
Yes,
I got my first achievement
9 days ago.
Yeah. So it's early days yet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this other release that came out to Game Pass. I can't remember the name of it, but it's soaking up all the gamers. So I think towards the end of this,
or something like that.
Towards the end of this Game Pass cycle, I think you'll see some more people jumping on.
Yeah, this completely passed me by, and it's the kind of thing that, at least visually and narratively and things, is something that is very interesting to me. This is my kind of thing, but I think I would have skipped on it. Just because it's a platformer, and generally pure platformers I'm not too big on. But you sold it to me. You've done it again.
Sorry.
So you don't really care for platformers, but you just want adventure.
Me?
Yes.
No, I don't mind platforming. It's platforming is a big broad genre, and there is platforming like this, which seems pretty chill, but it just happens to be that the main mechanic is platforming. And then there's platformers where it's like, the kind of stuff that a Woo excels at, extreme high skill, very high precision, Cloudberry Kingdom, whatever, nutty platforming. That's the stuff I avoid.
Oh, okay.
Same as, bullet hell shoot 'em ups and anything that requires twitchy, high precision. My reaction speeds aren't great, so,
Gotcha. The way you just made that comment, I thought you didn't really want your
No, I'm happy
adventure games having platforms.
No. I'm happy to play a platformer. It's just
Gotcha.
If I see platformer, I'm not immediately like, ooh.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering while Nate was talking about this if this was going to be a Chewie game as well. That sounds like it.
It is, yeah. Yeah, definitely. In the same way that I'd say Celeste was, as well. Because it's got a strong narrative and visual appeal and design, aesthetic and all this stuff. All this artsy-fartsy stuff that I like.
And that's why Celeste comes to mind so easily, with no effort at all.
It is on cloud gaming. I would have thought that this had touch controls. Can't believe it doesn't. Oh well. I just kind of noticed over here that it was on Xbox Cloud. All right. Well, two very Nate/Chewie games that are given. I, to no one's surprise, have been trying to play Starfield, but I have not been able to dive into it as much as I would like. So I'm going to hold off on my thoughts on that until I get farther into the game. So
give us like a mini preview, like initial gut feel.
So,
did you finish the character creator?
Yes. Initial gut feel, and this is me being 3-4-ish hours in, so like I haven't even scratched the surface. I'm looking at the surface of this game. There's a lot of things that I like, but I don't know how I feel. Ooh. I don't know if it's going to be that game where it's just like, oh yes, I'm only going to play this for the rest of my life until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. I love Elder Scrolls, Bethesda. I don't necessarily care for Fallout Bethesda, and since this leans more to Fallout Bethesda, I'm not super jazzed on it. It also being 30 frames, I can feel it. So I like it. I like a lot of the aesthetics. I love the space battle. I love the ships. Oh my god, that is amazing. Give me more of that. It's the being on the ground part that I don't know if I quite enjoy that yet. And then also every complaint on the internet about the maps, I 100% agree. It is mind-boggling that that's what they went with.
I saw a post that they addressed the community and said, yes, we understand. Number one, we're adding a button so you can eat food that you see rather than have to put it in your inventory and then eat it. So you'll have, press Y to eat that sandwich instead of just pick it up. And they also said, yeah, we're aware, and we're looking at adding city maps. So I believe by the time I get back to that game, they'll actually maybe have maps.
Which they should, honestly. They should have delayed it another 3 months if it meant adding maps. Like, the city maps are so mind-bogglingly bad. It's just, But yeah, that's very just surface level of how it is. I'm absolutely going to keep playing it. I look forward to doing more into it and exploring the universe, because all of that sounds fantastic. All that sounds cool. I want to get to that. Just haven't had the opportunity yet.
Now, you said you spent 3 to 4 hours. How much of that was in the character creator? I keep going back to that one. I'm sorry, but it's just...
honestly not that much. 10 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten to the point where games where it's just like, I don't really care. Blonde hair, blue eyes, name it Kenny, let's go. I don't spend like, I want my nose to be this perfect and, jawbone, and let's change the cheekies and all. I don't care anymore.
Did you go for close proximity or just, get the hair color and length right and go?
Hair color and length, and that's about it. Like, if you look at it, it's just like, oh yeah, that's kind of Ken. That looks like me.
Fully jacked, yeah, totally ripped. That
okay,
guy.
I won't say that. I do. I absolutely do that.
Okay, I'm going to say the L thing. Did they have a skin color pale enough?
Unfortunately, no.
I didn't see the translucent slider.
There was a pale white. There wasn't a Casper white, so I had to settle for the pale. But yeah, I like it so far. It's if this was Elder Scrolls, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't have slept in the past week and a half, and I would have spent the $30 to get that game or a week early. So,
but is that because the fantasy aspect draws you in more, or is there more to it than just it's the setting and the world?
I love high fantasy. I love the Elder Scrolls series. The worst part about the Elder Scrolls series, in my opinion, is the fact that Morrowind doesn't have achievements. Like, I really try not to say, give me title updates to any Elder Scrolls game, because that was one of the first things on my mind.
Yeah, if you to be honest, if you really push me for an answer on that, I would say go and add achievements to some of the old Xbox games. Psychonauts, Morrowind,
KOTOR.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for indulging me. I was interested to hear your initial feelings.
Yeah, I hope to play some more this weekend and this coming days. So I really want to just be able to sit down and play this game for like 15 hours straight, but that's not how my life goes.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm interested to hear about it from other people, because I highly doubt I'm ever going to get to play this in any time soon. So I enjoy it vicariously through other people, along with all the other big open world RPG type games.
I do the same with Nate and the Jedi games. Like, I haven't played what was the first one?
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Thank you. Wow. I haven't played Fallen Order, and then obviously I haven't played Jedi Survivor, but I very much want to. They look great.
For my sins, neither have I properly. I got to the Wookiee planet on Fallen Order, and was so offended I didn't go any further.
It's understandable. I can I can see that.
I think my brain completely wrote that out. I forgot how bad they were.
I mean, maybe there'll be like an update where they have enough time to actually make that look like they wanted to.
Did they put Wookiees in the newest one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Are there Wookiees? Are there Wookiees? There might be Wookiees, but it's nowhere near that. I don't remember being offended for you.
Okay.
I can't distinctly remember a particular Wookiee or not.
That's probably a good thing then. It didn't stand out as being terrible.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they are there, they're not offensive.
What is that?
God, I just looked it up. I forgot how bad it is. Oh my God, that is awful.
I mean, it's like they stripped it straight out of the N64 game, right? Speaking of which, Dark Forces. How do we feel about that? I know we're supposed to be talking Starfield quick impressions, but what do we think of Dark Forces?
What is Dark Forces?
Okay, you don't count. Chewie?
I never played Dark Forces the original. My original Star Wars game history is Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight,
okay.
Jedi
The MMO.
But yes, no.
Wasn't it an MMO? I thought it was.
No, I never played that one. So Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy it's Kal-Katan, and it's a sequel to Jedi Knight 2, but it's less of a... I mean, it is a shooter. It's just classed as a shooter, but it's more of you play a Jedi and all this stuff. I never played the original Dark Forces game, so I cannot comment on that, but
Dark Forces
it intrigues
is a lot
me.
like Doom. It's Doom, but Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. It's old looking.
And when I went to watch, when I watched the trailer with the enhanced graphics, I said, that's not my memory. Like it was.
Oh, is there a remaster coming?
It was so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
They remastered the graphics, and it. I mean, that used to be beautiful. That used to be beautiful. I'd be like, I can't believe I'm playing a Star Wars game, and now it just looks like, wow. It's a little painful, but I'm still gonna do it.
Oh wow, that looks a lot better. That's much better. I'll play that. But yeah, that's all I got for Starfield, and that's all we got for the game showcase. Why don't we go ahead and get into some sales? Nate.
All right. Really quickly, there were a lot of things. I shouldn't say a lot of things. There were some things that we've already talked about. We're trying to cut those out. So I'm going to mention two I don't think I've mentioned before. Transformers Battlegrounds Complete Edition, $9 down from $30. This is strategy turn-based, which is weird because it looks a little bit like it's a fun game. It's 1,195 gamer score. It's 37 to 45 hours. I'll probably end up looking at that. And next up, the Talos Principle, $5 down from $30. This is a puzzle game. It was on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. It's 35 to 30 hours. That seems like a typo. So it's around the 35-hour mark. There's no TA walkthrough, but you'll find walkthroughs elsewhere. And a lot of people like this game. So it's a highly regarded puzzle game.
It was also very, very rarely on sale. So after it came off Game Pass, it wasn't on sale for months and months and months and months. I think it's been on sale once previously, and now this time. So if it was a game that you started in Game Pass and were waiting for a sale on, I would jump on it, because this is only the second time it's ever been on sale, I think. It's unusual. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I know. I was sitting, waiting for months for it to come on sale. And I got it the last time, which was a few months back. So it's nice to see it again, but they seem few and far between. Then? I can't remember. $5 is a very good price for it. $30, I feel, was not a good price for it.
All right. I got a couple of games to recommend. First one being Big Pharma. Usually $30. It is now $4.50. It is a simulation management game. I don't know too much about this, but I've had this price tracked for a while. It basically looks like Great Value 2 Point Hospital. I really like the 2 Point games. This looks neat. Like I said, I can't tell you too much about it, but for under $5, it's a sim management game. If you're into that, you'll probably like it. Second game I'm gonna recommend. I loved this game. It is a tower defense game. Obviously, there's some strategy in it. Defense Grid 2. Usually $15. It is $3.74 right now. Very, very good tower defense game. If you like that kind of stuff. There's a couple of multiplayer achievements. I think this was Games with Gold a while ago or something like that. So, or it was on Game Pass or something. Like I can't remember. I should have looked it up. Oh well. But I'm pretty sure I own it. So if you need help with the multiplayer achievements, let me know. I'll give you a hand. And I know there's also a few other people in the community that have it. And last game I'm going to recommend, I'm always going to be checking the non-BC list. We have one game that's on sale, Borderlands, the pre-sequel, usually $40. It is $12. It's Borderlands. We all know what it is. Most importantly, it's non-backwards compatible. So if you want digital version of it, make sure grab it now while it's on sale. Otherwise, it is on disc somewhere. So this one's not necessarily pressing, but it is on sale.
And
Chewie,
I have just one game. Yeah, I have just one game to recommend, which, well, I don't know if recommend is the right word, to highlight maybe, because I haven't played this game, but I have now bought it purely because of this steep discount.
What a sale.
The Avengers game, which was not a critical darling and had some issues, but some people really liked it and some people thought it was not the best. I think universally thought of as a grind fest. Is being delisted. It is being delisted at the end of this month. Unusually, maybe, because sometimes this happens, delistings happen and there are no sales. But this time they've decided to knock, I think, about 90% off the price. It's down from $40 to $4. So a steep discount. I had no interest in this game, really. I like the MCU well enough, but the general reception of the game and the fact it's such a big grind and stuff just put me off completely. But I bought it because it's $4. So
that seems like a very fair price at that, no matter.
That's a great price.
It is still a AAA game. It still has value to it, and I will probably just play the story because I think it's probably worth playing for $4. So I have got that. But yes, look out for that. And obviously, once that sale ends, the game will be no longer available, at least digitally. So worth jumping on probably.
I had fun. It is a good Iron Man simulator because you get to fly around like Iron Man. There are better games that are better Iron Man simulators, but this was fun. And for $4, that's a great price. Good pick.
Yeah, you can't beat that. That's so cheap. Being delisted, yeah, I think I might grab that. All right. So,
should we let Chewie go? Chewie, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
I can keep going. I'm strong. Strong like bull.
All right. Good to hear. So, let's get into some Game Pass news and announcements. So, it has been, before we actually get to any games that are coming to Game Pass, we have a little bit of news. Game Pass core details have been released. So, if you don't know what Game Pass core actually is, months ago, whenever it was that they announced that Xbox Live Gold was going away, Games with Gold is dying, they announced, new different tiers of Game Pass. Game Pass Core is essentially your new Games with Gold. That's, the $10 a month thing that lets you get into multiplayer games and all that kind of stuff. You don't get free games, but there is a list of games that will be in Game Pass Core. They'll cycle at 2 to 3 times a year. Originally, we were told that there was going to be 25 games. Good guy Microsoft, I guess, decided to bump it to 36. I'll go ahead and run off the list of what games we have real quick. So, in Game Pass Core, starting, I guess now is I didn't see a release date when this actually pops off. I don't know. Whenever it's released, if it's not already released, here's are the games that you'll be able to play if you aren't signed up for Game Pass proper. Among Us, Astroneer, Celeste, Dead Cells, Descenders, Dishonored 2, Doom Eternal, Fable Anniversary, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Firewatch, Forza Horizon 4, Gang Beasts, Gears 5, Golf with Your Friends, Grounded, Halo 5, Halo Wars 2, Hellblade, Human Fall Flat, Inside, Limbo, Ori, and the Will of the Wisps, Overcooked 2, Payday 2, Power Wash Sim, Psychonauts 2, Slay the Spire, Spiritfarer, Stardew Valley, State of Decay 2, Subliminal, ESO, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, Unpacking, and Vampire Survivors. So, I don't know how you guys feel, but just look at the list. That's actually a really strong list of games that you get for free to be able to play for just having the bare minimum of their subscription.
It is a very strong list. It's a list of, and it's a good mix of kind of indie bangers and bigger games.
Yeah.
When they say they're going to cycle it as well, it would be interesting to see how much of that changes, right? They're not going to do a full, completely different list of 36 games because most of those are Microsoft owned or are going to be in Game Pass for a long time. So I think, is it going to change? Is it going to be like 5 or 6 games changing, or is it going to be half the list? Who knows? But it's a decent list. A lot of good games on there.
Yeah, like obviously, I imagine the Halos and the Fables and stuff like that, all the first party, like you said, will stay there. But then it's interesting to see that, games like Power Wash or Among Us or Shredder's Revenge is in there. I kind of expected those games to be leaving Game Pass soon, but seeing them in Game Pass Core, it's just like, oh, we got some more time around with them, which is always nice.
Yeah, I wonder if Microsoft has to arrange a separate deal, a separate contract with the developers.
That's a good question.
In order for them to be part of this offering.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a little sad that Games with Gold is gone, but I've seen a disturbing lack of 200 gamer score Xbox arcade titles.
That's funny right there.
They need. Yeah, it's a more modern, offering for sure, like than Game Pass or Games with Gold was. Sorry. I think the naming is horrible. It seems very confusing to say that, it's on Game Pass. Well, is it on Game Pass Core? That's a little uncool, but not the best decision. But this is good. I mean, if you've never had Game Pass, that list is amazing.
Yeah, I think if I was coming at this completely fresh and I didn't know any of the history of what had come before, I would be perfectly happy with this. Like if my kids were older and I was to say, hey, Game Pass Core, off you go, here are all these games, they would be very happy.
I'd be interested to see what the turnover rate would be, because obviously this is to just get a taste of what Game Pass actually is, and they keep all the really good stuff and a lot of the higher profile stuff in Game Pass proper. I would like to see what the turnover rate for people who just have the $10 tier go, for an extra $5, I could get all of this.
Like the day one Microsoft releases, right? Like those aren't going to come to Game Pass Core. So I guess maybe that's their selling point.
Yeah, I mean, like they have Forza Horizon 4, 10 out of 10 game. Amazing, but you can play Forza Horizon 5 for an extra couple bucks. Not to mention all the other stuff. I wonder if I imagine you don't get all the Game Pass perks with that either. But yeah, good list. If you're out there and you don't have Game Pass, and you just have Game Pass and you're just keeping the bare minimum, I'm sure you'll be happy with that list. But on to Game Pass editions. Out now is Lies of P, an action RPG for the Xbox and PC. Pinocchio Dark Souls, apparently.
I think I led you wrong on that.
Did you? I haven't watched.
out.
I know nothing about this right now.
Yeah, this is not out until the 19th, I believe. If I'm looking at the release date correctly.
What's it? It's the 13th. I don't even know what today's date is.
Yeah, it's soon. I don't think it's out as soon as you hear this. Sorry. My bad.
Coming soon. Coming eventually.
Coming real soon.
Coming real soon. Now, hopefully, this one is out now. Solar Ash.
I probably screwed that up, too. That's my bad. Not my week, people. I'm sorry.
It's been a heck of a week. Also coming real soon, Solar Ash. All right, so I'll just assume that these next 3 dates are correct. September 20th, we have Party Animals coming to the Xbox. September 21st, Payday 3. And September 29th, we have Cocoon. Or September something or other. All those games are coming.
Mm-hmm. Solar Ash is out now.
What's that? Okay, Solar Ash is out now. Cool. So you got something new to play if you're listening to this. And you got 4 other games you'll be able to play real soon. And what did I say today? 13th. So if you were listening to this day of release, you will have moments to buy these next couple of games that are leaving Game Pass. If you so choose to get them, you won't have any time to complete them. We are losing Origami 2, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony Anniversary Edition, DC League of Super Pets: The Adventures of Crypto, Fugga Melodies of Steel, Metal Hellsinger. This sucks that's leaving, and its stack. Civ 6, Tainted Grail Conquest, Train Sim World 3, and Amazing Cultivation Simulator. Yeah. If you're interested in any of those games, grab them now, especially Train Sim World 3, since it will be getting delisted soon.
Now, if you're crazy and you're gonna try to get Metal Hellsinger done, maybe one of them, not both, just a quick tip for you: you don't have to fight everything. You can run as quickly as you can to the next gate. It'll then close off that area, and then you only have to kill the stuff that spawns in that area. You don't have to kill everything along the way. In fact, I was just skipping as soon as I learned that at the end of the first run. My second, stack, I was just skipping right to the end, fighting the bosses or fighting the enemies at that area, killing them, moving on to the next area till they block me with a door. You don't have to fight everything.
And also knowledge that there is an accessibility option that doesn't disable achievements, so that helps. But if nothing else, if you're someone who doesn't care about completions, you don't care about your tag, can you do me a favor and just put this on your tag? Just go download it, please. Both versions, just get an achievement real quick, put it on your tag. I want more games like this. I want this developer to succeed. I want more of this, and I really want the soundtrack to come to Spotify. The music is amazing. I adore this game. I love it. Just, I want more of it, please. More games like this would be amazing. And, yeah, that'll do it for Game Pass. So, let's get into some brag camp. Take it away, Nate.
All right.
I'll let you read those 2 extra.
Sure. In completions, Dan the Whale has 400 completed games, and Big L has 850 completed games. Take it away, Nate, for streaks. In streaks, Johnny Delicious is currently on a 50-day achievement win streak. Henky XD / smiley face with the eyes crinkled is 150 days, as is RPG Davy with no emoticon. Legless Hamster, 250 days, joined by Toadstyle Venom. Z Drunken Monkeys with 800 days, Surf Biscuit with 1,450 days, Unky Tim Foo with 2,500 days, Prue with 2,750 days, and Mad Eye Pad Eye with an insane 3,850 day achievement win streak.
Crazy. In Gamerscore, Tony Coconuts has hit 200,000, Mr. P-Tart has hit 650,000, Icefire TN has hit 750,000. Chesno, 800,000. Logic Slayer, 850,000. That guy over there, KooshMoose, has hit 900,000. And blowing everyone out of the water, Thrash Forever has hit 2.6 million gamer score.
Holy moly. In leaderboards, Chesno is now in the top 50 of the England Gamerscore leaderboard for fighting, and is also in the top 500 for the England Gamerscore leaderboard for Xbox 360 fighting.
Nice.
He has been doing a lot of fighting. erutaerc is now in the top 10 England completed games leaderboard for role-playing.
Wow.
Jay Huns, now this is a big one, Jay Huns is now the number 1 in both completed games and games played, which kind of makes sense, leaderboard for Metroidvania.
Dang.
Which
I
is
love
probably,
the Vayner's channel.
I'm not sure, is probably dethroning someone else in our Vayner's channel because I know those top spots are hotly contested. So well done, Jay Hans, for claiming that one. I wonder how short-lived it will be. Redemption Denied is now the number 1 in completed games, full stop. He has completed more games than anyone in the entire world.
That is just absurd.
And finally, Scaravese is now in the top 100 for the USA Achievements Won in Simulation.
Nice. All right. Well, that will do it for us this week. That was a fun show. I'm really glad you were able to come on here, Chewie. I'm glad you were able to stick with us. It has to be profoundly late right now for you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I drifted off there.
It's like stupid late. Yes,
it is. It is 2:30 in the morning.
You are a madman. What are you doing up at this hour?
I'm driving to work in 5 hours.
You are a madman.
And I've got to wake up 2 young children and give them breakfast. So,
oh my goodness,
it's worth it.
That's a heroic effort.
It's worth it to join you guys and speak with you about these games to our lovely community.
I appreciate it. I had fun.
I appreciate it. This was really fun. So thank you for showing up. It's a good time.
Anytime we're able to get you, it's great because I know this is incredibly difficult for you. And good luck with the rest of your week. I don't know how you're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I am usually up until this time anyway, playing my, well, I say up, falling asleep to adventure games. So there you go.
You just don't sleep in general. That makes more sense of how you're able to do this.
Thanks for giving up a night of gaming then.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Sleep's important.
Yeah, but is it? Gaming's more important. But as always, check the show notes. We have links to all of our socials and stuff like that down in there. I don't want to delay Chewie too much longer, keep him up for any more amount of time. So once again, thank you for joining us, Chewie. Thank you everyone for listening. And with that, class is dismissed. See you all next week.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye. Pip, pip.
Cheerio.
Hello and welcome back once again to NeverEnding Stories. I'm joined once again by erutaerc.
Hello!
Hello, welcome back. You've completed another game.
I have.
You smashed it out. And this one I'm really looking forward to hearing about because it is one that appeared on so many people's lists. So I want to know, A, why so many people started it, and B, why so many people did not complete the campaign. What are we talking about?
Well, hopefully I can enlighten you into the wonderful world of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the 360 version.
Now, I feel like the word wonderful there has an asterisk on it. Caveat.
It has a wonderful. It's got the asterisks in the same sense of, I would say, from last time we spoke, Sonic being a good game asterisk.
Interesting. Well, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, originally released on the 360, November 2006. So this is an old game. Is that beginning of Xbox 360? Is it one of the launch titles?
That's a year in, I believe.
Okay, so not a launch title.
No.
But loads of people started it, so was it a bundle title?
I don't think so. I think it's because it's got that name appeal of it being a Marvel game. It's a big game with the whole roster of maybe 25, 30 characters in it. It's just got that appeal of you get to play as a superhero and beat up a lot of people.
Well, you started it in 2008, so that was 2 years later.
Yes.
Are you a Marvel fan? Were you looking forward to it? Was there a reason why you picked it up?
I think I picked it up just because it looked like it was going to be a bit of a fun game. At the time, I wasn't a Marvel fan because Marvel wasn't that big outside of it being the comic book scene. I don't think the MCU had started in 2006.
No, the Spider-Man films have been popular and successful.
I don't think Iron Man had come out at that point, so it was just a case of, hey, this looks like a fun little game. Let's have a go. And
it's an odd game to me because in my head for some reason I thought it was a fighting game, but it's not quite. It's classed on TA as a role-playing beat-em-up.
Yes, so it's most definitely a beat-em-up because there is a lot of punching and fighting. But you get to determine what skills your characters have, so that's where the role-playing aspect comes in.
Do you choose a character to play as all the way through?
You choose from 4 characters to have as your team, and you can swap them out at any time at certain points during the level or during the hub worlds, and you can assign them points to various skills as you level up. So that's where the role-playing aspect comes in.
Right. Now, you started it December 2008.
Yep.
And you did quite a lot of it. You did almost half the achievements. Well, 22 out of the 46 base game achievements in 3 days. So you were rocking and rolling straight through it. And then you stopped.
Then I stopped.
For a long time. So were you enjoying it? You were doing a lot in it. And what happened?
So it's a combination of a couple of things. One of them is that it's certainly the first half, maybe 2/3 of the game feel really, really long. Like you just feel like you're not really you are making progress, obviously, but there's not really much sense of it. But the other thing, it ties back into Sonic from last time we spoke in that, with Sonic, obviously, you're expecting to go fast and, be super and jumping over everywhere. This falls into a very similar category in that you're playing as superheroes. You are these ultimate beings and you just feel weak.
Ooh.
And so I think when I was playing it through the first time round in 2008, I was playing it on normal. And it's not an easy game.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are playing as, Thor or Iron Man, these small minions that are coming towards you, you should be batting away with one hand. But no, it's a challenge.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I'm kind of thinking about, is it X-Men Destiny as a kind of equivalently aged superhero game? And it's not a difficult game, but in that you're playing as like rookie heroes.
Yeah.
Like noob heroes, not the mainline heroes. So it makes sense that you would be struggling to fight a whole load of grunts.
Yeah, similarly with like Halo Reach.
Yeah. You're not the big the big dudes. So yeah, then if you are playing as the main superheroes, you would expect them to not face that struggle.
So yeah, that was what put me off when I was playing it through. Is like, I'm expecting, big, powerful punches, one hitting every enemy that comes your way, but it just wasn't the case. And I mean, I put up with it for, like you say, about half the game, and then I just decided that this wasn't for me. And that's why it took me 15 years to go back to it.
Oh, 15 years.
To properly go back to it, I should say.
Yes, because you did come back in 2020, and it's a bit like in Sonic. You came back in 2020 then to do 2 multiplayer achievements, and in this you came back in 2020 to do 2 multiplayer achievements.
Yes, I did.
So I'm guessing similar kind of possibility that it was in a TA event or a multiplayer session popped up or something.
It might have been like, not the RTDL, but when you go on TA and just say, oh, assign me a random set of achievements. I must have done it through that.
Interesting. Okay. But then you put it back down because you were not planning on coming back to the main game, I assume, until I said, no, you should definitely do that because you've been sitting on this for 15 years.
Yeah.
And you said, fine, okay, I'll do it. And between the 19th of March and the 10th of April, so over the course of a few weeks, you knocked through it and got that story completion.
I certainly did.
You utterly defeated Dr. Doom.
Utterly defeated Dr. Doom. It definitely got better towards the end.
What, from a story perspective or a gameplay, or both?
From both, because obviously, you're getting stronger, so enemies are easier to defeat. But the way I was playing it through probably made it a bit more of a challenge because I was constantly switching characters, so I never really got used to anyone. Because that ties into various other achievements. Once you get towards the end and your characters are of decent level, the final bosses aren't too much to write home about.
Yeah, because it looks like as you go along, you unlock characters.
Almost everyone's unlocked from the start. There's a couple you have to unlock.
Silver Surfer you unlock, and
Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nick Fury is done for beating the story. Silver Surfer is unlocked by completing all of the comic book missions.
Right. And Daredevil as well, I think, is another one.
Daredevil
and Panther.
Yeah, they've got figurines in levels, so you have to pick them up to unlock them.
I see, you find them. Okay. And also there's quite a lot of cumulative stuff, doing a certain thing a certain amount of times, defeat a certain number of enemies. Your standard 360 achievement lists.
Yeah, giving you something to grind out once the game's over.
Nothing seems too egregious on that front, though. Doesn't seem like.
The grinding's not so bad.
I've just noticed 500 enemies off a ledge. That sounds.
That's not great, but you can easily do that in like a couple of hours. It's not horrendous. The issue the game has is that any time you unlock an achievement, everything you've done since your previous save is lost if it's tracking wise. So say you had thrown 300 enemies off a ledge and then you unlocked an achievement, those 300 have gone.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wait, is that a glitch or is that by design?
Almost certainly a glitch. It's an incredibly bad design if it is by design, but that tracks for, killing enemies and every single costume achievement. So you unlock costumes by getting a certain amount of kills with each character. So if you got, you unlocked this person's costume and then it doesn't save at that point, or it doesn't unlock the achievement at that point because you've got to do a comic book mission to get the final one. But if you get to their max amount of kills, then you unlock an achievement, the costume disappears, and if you save, it bugs you out of getting the costume on that playthrough. So you'd have to do an entire another playthrough. So anytime you unlock an achievement, you immediately have to revert to last save.
I see. So now I'm wondering if partly why people hop off it so quickly is because they're encountering these issues.
Yeah, it's not something you're going to notice towards the start because you're not really going to see massive amount of costume unlocks. But once you get towards the end and you've got 40 characters with most of their costumes unlocked, or you're going for the 4,000 kills, you're going to be dreading any possible achievement unlock.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's not great.
So you have to literally say, I'm going for this one, only this one, and hope that nothing else unlocks on the way, because then it will reset my progress in the one I'm going for.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that there's not a lot of save points during each level. Like each level could be maybe, some of them are 30, 45 minutes, and there's maybe 2 save points, because you can't just start and press save. You have to get to a certain point and interact with it to be able to save. So if you fail at some point after that, you could get to a boss fight. Half the boss fights in the game don't have a save point before them. You could go back 15 minutes and have to replay all of that.
I hate that.
That'll be another reason why it's probably on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, I guess it's just some of it is, that again, it comes down to age a little bit, quality of life stuff that over the years, and not every game gets it right. They still screw it up sometimes, and unskippable cutscenes and not saving right before a boss fight and stuff is still a thing that might happen. But it feels like maybe in these days it was a bit more prevalent because the quality of life wasn't quite there on a lot of these kind of things.
It's absolutely brutal. It's very unfair, but that's, I guess, how they decided to approach it. I don't know whether that changed with the second game or when they remastered them. I doubt it.
Yes, because there is Marvel Ultimate Alliance Xbox One, although that has been since removed from the store.
Yes, which is a shame.
There's a few people on H101 who have played that, the new one, the port, the remaster, whatever, Volga, Rockadu, Mental Knight, so maybe they can listen and comment if these kind of issues exist in that game.
That would be good to know.
So the story, is it strong? Is it worth, like, if you ignore everything else and all of those challenges, if you like Marvel and you like heroes bashing each other on the head, is it worth playing for the story side of things?
The story, as far as I can tell, isn't bad. I didn't pay much attention to it because I wanted to get through it as fast as possible. It's not a bad story, though.
It does seem like with a lot of these games, it's the kind of rogues gallery approach where instead of like a coherent, solid single storyline, it's just throwing all the villains at you to be like, and now you're going to fight this villain, and now you're going to fight this villain, because every story achievement is basically defeat this villain, defeat this villain.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much a case of, hey, congratulations, you've beaten Fin Fang Foom. Now go defeat MODOK or whoever. It's like, oh, okay.
Which is kind of fun, I guess, and cool, because it's like, oh yeah, now, and each boss, each villain will have its own method and to defeat them or whatever. It doesn't shout strong storyline to me when you see that kind of thing.
It's definitely cool if you do know all the characters and all the villains, but as someone that only really knows Marvel through the films, there's a lot of the characters where I'm just going, I have no idea who this is.
You mean you're not familiar with Titanus and Deathbird?
Sadly not. Nor am I familiar with Tiger Shark and Atuma. I have no idea who they are.
I mean, me neither. I'm not the biggest comic guy. Star Wars all the way, baby.
Shock.
Okay, you didn't leave it there, though.
No.
You did the thing, you completed the story, and then, as you have with each one of these that we've done so far, you took it all the way.
Yep.
You got the completion. So you spent another week or so unlocking everything, grinding out those kills, doing arcade mode levels?
Arcade mode levels is a bit of a cover-up. It's co-op, but it's like competing in the same story levels, but you're competing over kills effectively. But it can be easily cheesed by going into one specific level, killing 4 enemies, going to like a zone that's right next to it, and then going straight back, and that counts as one level.
Okay, yeah, because it was 100 levels. Seems like a lot for the.
If you had to do the whole level,
achievement.
It would be so very painful. But no, it's not so bad.
I mean, as it is, 3%. It's a high ratio, but I guess with the exploit, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a grind. That week also does encompass 2 playthroughs, because I did it on normal for the base completion, or for the story completion, and then I played it through on easy to get a couple of to get all the comic book missions, and then I went through again on hard.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, because there's no sense of that easy playthrough on your list. There's the normal completion on the 10th, and then the hard completion on the 19th.
Yeah.
So that is dedication to completing this game, to play it through 3 times in quick succession.
Playing it on easy with leveled up characters is the game I was expecting it to be. You know, you make your way through at least 80% of the game just hitting things once and they're gone. You get to a boss.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you carry your characters across playthroughs then?
Yeah, if you beat the story once, and then you can reload or load in the save progress onto the easy playthrough, and then you can take that save and take it to the hard.
So does that make hard easier then as well, because you're OP, or is hard still hard?
Hard is how you would think a game should run. So at the start, you're doing the same as what you were on easy. It is, I think I started hard about level 50, and out of 99? Yeah, 99. And you start at level 50, and the first couple of levels are easy. You're punching things, getting rid of them in 1 or 2 hits, but by the time you get to the end, you are having to implement strategy. Not that there's that much of it, but you actually have to play a bit more defensive. So hard mode, once you've done the previous 2 playthroughs, is how the game probably should be from the start.
And with the base game complete, you also knocked through the DLC. So there are 2 DLC packs, playable hero pack and playable villain pack. Is that literally just extra characters that you can use?
Exactly that.
In the main game, right? And is that what you did for the easy playthrough? Was that to get those ones? Just looking at the dates here.
Yeah, it's they had 4 characters each, and the only achievements for them are just to get 250 kills, I think it is, with each of them to unlock all their outfits. That's it. So yeah, you run through on easy. There's a couple of levels where you can just grind out kills, and so you just sit there for 20 minutes with each of them. Nice. There's your 250 new character. So the DLC achievements are painless.
Yeah, straightforward.
Yeah,
it looks like it. And there you go. Full completion on April the 19th. 58 achievements, 1250 gamer score, almost a 2 ratio, not quite. And you gave it 2 stars.
I gave it 2 stars.
Presumably because of all of the issues that you've mentioned and it not being quite the game maybe it could have been, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a superhero game where you don't feel like a superhero. I feel like that's not a great selling point. The game is fine. I have no issues with the game, but there are negatives that draw it just below that average.
Not least the achievement resetting issue.
Yeah.
Have you played any of the other kind of big Marvel or DC or like superhero, games where you play lots of characters and it's a similar vibe? I suppose Avengers being the most recent example.
No, I haven't. This is the only one of any form of style like that I've ever played.
Do you think you will?
I would like to have done Avengers, but it just the way it looks, any videos I've seen of it, it just feels like it'd be very similar to this.
Yeah, I guess it actually got maybe a similar lukewarmish response, right? Overall, some people do like it, but it wasn't a very warm reception, shall we say. No. And it sounds like it has similar issues in terms of a lot of grinding and a lot of fighting grunts.
Although Avengers does have a higher overall rating, that's a 3.5, this is a 3.47, so it's slightly better apparently.
So slightly, just slightly. That 0.03 makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, you have smashed out another one, completely smashed it out. The last couple of times we talked, you said you were still looking at Far Cry Instincts as your kind of hope for completion next. Because you've completed a few of these now, I have added a few to the list as well.
Yeah.
I added Sacred, Saints Row, and Two Worlds to your list. Did any of those tickle your fancies?
Two Worlds does not. I remember playing that, and I remember it being not very good. Saints Row, I feel, would be incredibly dated by now, both in its gameplay and in certain things that are said in it. The one that tempts me a lot is Sacred 2, Fallen Angel. I remember playing that. I remember doing half of it offline because I was at a LAN event, which bizarrely enough didn't have great internet. And I got about halfway through the story online, then lost internet, completed the story, and then lost the hard drive.
Ooh, interesting.
So I have completed Sacred 2 before.
You have completed it.
But
not officially.
Not officially.
If it's not on TA, it doesn't count.
Yeah, tell me about it.
The Oracle.
So I'll be looking to hopefully get to that at some point this year, because that's actually a game I liked. So that would be a nice treat for me to play a game I liked and come on here and talk about that.
Yeah, so far the hit rate of games you've enjoyed has been lower, let's say.
The average is below 2.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the intention of the segment. It was like, oh, these are good games, you should go back and play them. And people seem to be picking the kind of not so great ones on the whole. But it's okay. It's fine.
There's a reason we drop the games.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's just because, like me, you just bean dived a whole crap ton of games and you've never gone back to them.
There is that. I think I would have to go quite some way getting through these games before we found a bean dive of mine.
Well, erutaerc.
Chewie.
Thank you again for joining me.
You're most welcome.
Thank you again
for having me.
Smashing out. And I am very much looking forward to you returning with your next NeverEnding Story.
We will see you next time.
I said Blaze Blue. I don't read. Yeah, I'm not Ron Burgundy. We'll roll it back. We'll figure it out. We'll watch that tape. Chesno says, I want a title update for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition.